What I'm about to tell you could change how you think about money forever. Because right now, the US Treasury is warning that up to $6.6 trillion could leave the American banking system. And it's all because of a brand new form of money, one that's been authorized by the US government itself. President Donald Trump just signed a controversial new law, Senate Bill S.1582, that's quietly creating an entirely new dollar standard. They're calling it Dollar 2.0. This law gives a handful of private companies the legal authority to create a new form of US-backed money, money that's fully authorized, fully regulated, and backed by US Treasuries. It's the first major change to the dollar system in over 100 years, since the Federal Reserve Act of 1913. And if you hold any money in a traditional bank account, you're about to feel the impact. Here's what's wild. Unlike the old dollar that loses value every year because of inflation, this new Dollar 2.0 can actually earn money. It's designed to pay yields that beat inflation, as much as 58 times higher than what your checking account pays right now, and up to 10 times higher than the average savings account. So instead of watching your money erode, it could finally start working for you again. This isn't speculation. This is official government policy. And the next phase begins on December 18th, with more big rollout dates expected later this year. The White House calls this a radical private upgrade of America's money. And make no mistake, it could completely reshape who controls the US financial system. Former PayPal COO David Sacks, now a White House advisor, says this change could create trillions of dollars of demand for US Treasuries practically overnight. The Treasury Secretary believes it could exceed $2 trillion in value by 2028, and Forbes calls it a $10 trillion opportunity. That's how big this is. Let me be clear, this isn't some small crypto experiment or digital currency beta test. This is a fundamental redesign of the dollar itself, and the private companies at the center of this shift could soon become the most powerful financial institutions on Earth. One thing I've recognized after my long financial career is, every time the world upgrades its financial system, the people who recognize it early and act end up building generational wealth. Imagine investing in Rockefeller's Standard Oil in 1870, or JP Morgan's bank in 1895. Imagine backing Microsoft in the 80s, Amazon in the 90s, or Tesla in 2010. Every one of those shifts created new empires. And this moment, right now, could be the next one. So what exactly is Dollar 2.0? It's a new kind of digital dollar, created by private companies but fully backed by US debt. Each Dollar 2.0 in circulation represents real Treasury assets, which means it's as stable as the US government, but with the flexibility of modern digital finance. And because these companies can earn yield on those treasuries, they can pay you, the holder, higher interest. Banks are terrified. The Treasury itself admits that up to 1/3 of all US deposits could migrate out of traditional banks and into Dollar 2.0. That's $6.6 trillion potentially leaving the old system. If that happens, the companies behind Dollar 2.0 will instantly become some of the richest financial entities in the world. Why is this happening? It's Trump's direct response to a crisis that's been building for decades. You see, the American financial system has been cracking since we left the gold standard in 1971. Back then, the dollar was tied to gold at $35 an ounce. It was real, solid money. But when Nixon ended that convertibility, everything changed. To keep the dollar's dominance, Nixon struck a deal with Saudi Arabia. They'd sell oil only in US dollars and buy US debt with the profits. That created what we now call the petrodollar system. It gave America a cheat code. We could print money, buy imports, and borrow endlessly because the world needed our dollars. It made us richer than any nation in history, but it also made us addicted to debt, to credit, and to easy money. Since then, the numbers have gone off the charts. The national debt exploded from $398 billion in 1971 to over $35 trillion today, an 8,800% increase. And now we're paying $1.2 trillion a year just in interest. That's more than the entire defense budget. It's unsustainable. The US now adds $1 trillion of new debt every 100 days. And over $7 trillion of existing debt comes due this year alone. We've reached the point where the math no longer works. So what does Trump do? He doesn't patch the system. He replaces it. With S.1582, he's engineered a self-correcting mechanism. Every dollar 2.0 must be backed by U.S. Treasuries. That means, as the world adopts this new dollar, demand for Treasuries skyrockets. And when demand rises, interest rates fall, slashing the cost of government debt. By lowering borrowing costs just 1.5%, America could save $1 trillion over 10 years. That's money that could rebuild roads, fund Medicare, or even cut taxes for millions of Americans. It's simple, but brilliant. Instead of begging foreign nations to buy our debt, we've created a new market for it, right here at home. That's why Trump pushed this bill through the Senate at record speed, telling his team, get it to my desk ASAP, no delays, no add-ons. He knew the clock was ticking. If the petrodollar was Nixon's ace up his sleeve, Dollar 2.0 is Trump's royal flush. It solves two problems at once. It revives global demand for U.S. debt, and it creates a new income stream for everyday Americans who adopt it early. And it's all happening right now. The Treasury predicts that between $2 trillion and $10 trillion could flow into this new system in just a few years. That's why December 18th is being called the next money creation event. This is when the wealth transfer begins, and most people will have no idea until it's too late. Now, why should you believe me? I've spent my career uncovering financial shifts just like this one. I've worked alongside Warren Buffett, Alan Greenspan, Ron Paul, and Jim Rogers. I've written bestsellers, produced documentaries, and studied every major market move for the past 3 decades. And I can tell you, I've never seen anything like this. We're not just talking about a new currency. We're witnessing the birth of an entirely new money standard, a dollar that earns yield, a dollar that strengthens U.S. debt, a dollar that's run, not by the Federal Reserve, but by private companies under government oversight. This is Dollar 2.0, and the companies behind it could soon eclipse Wall Street's biggest banks. By the time CNBC starts talking about it, the biggest profits will be gone. Because when revolutions happen in money, they don't announce themselves. They just happen. And when they do, those who act early reap the rewards. So if you've ever wished you could have seen what was coming before everyone else, this is your moment. President Trump has just signed the most radical upgrade to the US dollar in a century. The old system is fading fast, and the new one, the private government-backed Dollar 2.0, is here. Now the question is, are you going to sit back and watch the biggest wealth transfer in modern history, or position yourself on the right side of it? If you want to understand exactly which companies are behind this revolution and how to position yourself before December 18th, I've put together a full briefing for my members inside the GSI Shadow Reserve. This is where I reveal the handful of firms authorized to mint these new dollars and the precise steps you can take to profit from this generational shift. Just click the link below this video to join. You'll get instant access to my latest research, detailed reports, and real-time updates as this unfolds. Because by the time the mainstream catches on, it'll be too late. So click the link now, join the Shadow Reserve, and I'll show you exactly how to move before the next big money creation event hits.